Happy Tuesday. It is, sun is bright today, which is great, and there's a little bit of snow on the ground, so it really reflects up, makes it kind of hard to see. But the crypto market is up today a little bit. The panic is kind of settled. We've hit our lows for now, and people are feeling better, starting to ease back into that crypto market, not feeling so bad. It's amazing because prices aren't that much different from when they were at the bottom, but the fact that everything's green, people feel a lot better. This market is all psychological, it's all emotional, and you see that. Can't get emotional. That's the thing with markets. You have to, and this is hard. I mean, if you're just coming into the crypto market, or any market for that matter, especially crypto, because it's like hyper velocity emotion, you've got to learn to control your emotions, and that's really what it comes down to. And it's the biggest thing is to not get so upset when things happen. Just look at the market for what it is, and it's just, you don't want to, it's hard, it's easy to say, but it's hard to explain, if that makes sense. But you don't want to be emotionally attached to it. Now, it's hard because when you look at crypto and you understand what crypto is, you understand the power that it has and the value that it has, what it offers to humanity, it's hard not to get into it, and get really emotional and go all in and say, hey, this is the future, I'm in. And really, once that clicks, you want to go all in and you want to get outside of the old system. But, if you're looking at the market, it's all right to go all in, but no, there are going to be ups and downs. And if you're going to be all in, there are better times that you can go in. And you're going to want so bad when the market is going up, and when that big green candle, on the chart, shoots up, you're going to want to get in. You're going to think, I'm missing out. It's a new paradigm. Everything's changing. I've got to get into this. I got to dump everything I have into it. That's the last thing you want to do. The most important thing is to realize is that it will always come back down. Always corrects. And let's say the market goes way up, and you see, take 2017. If you look at the charts in 2017, look at November, December, and look at Litecoin. Because when you look at that, you're going to see a move, which is, 5 days, and the thing just goes zoom. I guess it'd be this way, zoom, because it's a parabolic move. And you're thinking at that time, oh my God, I need to get some of this. If I don't get this, I'm going to be caught out. Everything's changing. It's going to go to $1,000, and I'm not going to have any. Nobody's going to sell it because it's going to be used for payment systems. It's a new paradigm. And you're going to be thinking this, and you're going to be emotional, and you're going to FOMO, fear of missing out. What you have to do in moments like that, and it's hard, is to just stop, step back, and wait. Because if you waited 7 days later, a week later, which seems like an eternity when you're watching this stuff goes up and it's going up and everybody's saying, look at it, I'm making all this money, I'm 4 times up. Step back, and then you'll see at that chart, it corrects, it comes back down, boom, a big correction, to where it comes down in the 200s, and then you can buy it, then it goes up, then it goes. And so my point is, buy on red candle days. What's that mean? Look at the chart. There are red down. When the market goes down, that's when you buy. And then you'll get on the other side of it. Once you're in it for a while, you'll get on the other side of it like me, where I'm like, wish I would have bought it lower. And that's it. You'll buy it for $120 Litecoin, and then it goes to $96, and you just... But when you look at it, when you're going to step back and look at the chart, you're going to say, oh crap, this is way down, so I need to get some. And especially when it goes on sale, when you have those red candle days, that's when you want to buy it. So enough of my inexpertise at charting and candlesticks, but that's the thing that you really want to do, is control your emotion. And I guess if I had one piece of advice to anybody in the crypto market, you've got to learn to control your emotion. And when it's okay to want to go all in, because you get the technology and you get what it is. But there are better moments, there are more opportune moments where you can get in. And so just wait. If it's a down day, and they will come. You might think that they won't in the middle of all this, but everything comes down. It'll go up and it comes down. Get into it then. Buy it on a dip. And then you're going to say, oh, I should have waited longer. Well, here's what you do. Say you've got $100 to invest. Throw in $50 once it dips. If it dips again, throw the other $50 in. Or, I mean, you can throw in $50, then if it dips again, throw in $20, throw in $20, throw in $10. But you got to look at your fees and where you're buying it, from too. Because, you could get eaten up that way. So, sometimes it's better to say, okay, I'm going to wait for a pullback, I'm going to wait for a dip, then I'm going to throw my $100 in. So it's really, up to you where you're buying it from and what makes more sense. But that's one way to do it. You ladder in. So if it goes down again, which it usually does, it'll dip and you're like, all right, a pullback, I'm getting in. Then it dips some more. Then it dips some more. And if you'd left a little on the sidelines, you could say, okay, I'm going to drop it in that next dip. If it dips again, I'm going to put more in. Boom. And then you really feel good because you feel like you're really getting a deal. And so if you can train yourself to do that and just wait a little bit to get into the market, you'll be fine because it always dips. It always comes down. That's just the nature of things. You can't stay up forever, then it comes down. It's just like when they suppress something and they hold that ball underwater. You only hold it so long and something's got to give, and then boom, it explodes out and it corrects itself. And then, it'll come back down though. So that most of you probably know that, but I just want to throw that out there. It's very important, control your emotions. And then again, on the other side of it, when it goes way up, that's the time you want to be thinking about what your long-term plans are. Do I want to be in this for 5 more years, 10 more years? Or is it at a point where it's reached a number that hits a target that allows me to do something in real life and be free and take the money off the table and boom, make that a reality? Because if you can make that a reality with magic internet money, that's pretty cool. It really is magic internet money if you can take it and, make something real in the real world that brings you real freedom and real peace and happiness. So that's all I'm going to say there. Actually, I wanted to just kind of lens into what I was wanting to talk about, the metaverse. Real things, digital things. What is the metaverse? The metaverse, you're hearing a lot about this. Facebook changed their name to Meta. And so that's kind of what we're looking at, this big universe, this metaverse, this virtual universe. And there's going to be multiple metaverses, and that's going to be kind of down corporate lines to where, there's going to be corporations that come together and they'll partner together and create their metaverse. To where, okay, Sony's going to be over here, Samsung's going to be over here, all these companies are going to be in this metaverse. And then this other metaverse might just be for art. Let's just say art. So you've got this metaverse to where you've got all these artists that collaborate. This is all grassroots right now. It's all coming together. It's partnerships. It's what we're giving energy to and evolving these communities, these virtual communities. That's really what it is. So think of the art world. You've got a lot of people creating NFTs, non-fungible tokens, artwork, digital artwork, and they're putting it on the blockchain or verifying that they own it on the blockchain or have created it. So then they want to create this metaverse, this virtual world that you can then, access. And they may have a museum there to where this artist starts a museum and puts all his artwork in there. And then he has other people he collaborates with and likes. real life people who are creating digital art. And he says, here, put your artwork in my museum. And so pretty soon it's like, hey, this is the go-to museum. I want to get in the metaverse and put my goggles on and, go visit this virtual world and see all these virtual paintings that, all in one spot. And there may be a cost to doing that. Hey, you may have to pay, so many tokens to get into this museum, whatever they are, some digital currency. And it's up to however it's defined, because you're creating this new world in this virtual space, this mind space almost. And you've seen, hey, maybe you haven't, but I've seen I've always envisioned this. I knew that at some point we would not be going to grocery stores, and especially with the pandemic, and all the lockdowns, I knew that we wouldn't be going to grocery stores. We wouldn't be going to Walmart. We wouldn't be going to Target. Instead, and this just came out recently, but I've always seen this as we're going to have a virtual shopping cart. You'll be able to walk through it at home, and it can be with a console, it can be on your phone. It doesn't have to be with goggles. But you walk through Walmart and you start on your tablet and, okay, go to this section. And it's like you're walking through the store, having the same experience. I go into the alcohol section. I'm like, wow, look at all these whiskeys. And you can pick them out and see the actual bottle. And, you could probably even pick up the bottle and have a 3D view of it, on your screen and rotate it around to see the label. Everything that you would see in the store, it's all right there. And if you want to go to the manufacturer, you can click on it, boom, go to that, the Jack Daniel's distillery, and maybe take a virtual tour of that, because that's got its own little metaverse. It's all connected. So all these things are going to go virtual. All the things that are in reality they're trying to make virtual. It takes a lot of resources to do that. It wasn't possible in the past. You got to have a lot of bandwidth. You got to have a lot of internet connectivity. You got to have phones that, aren't going to be spotty, and cell service that works so they can be connected. A lot of this has to be improved to allow this to happen, because, it's a lot of graphics, a lot of intense stuff that you got to deal with, a lot of information. So that's the road that we're going down when you hear metaverse. It's this virtual world to where replicating the real world, putting it into a virtual world so that you can go to the Louvre Museum, and see the beautiful paintings without having to leave your living room. Or have, be able to go to Hawaii and sit on the beach and, experience that in kind of a real way. And that's another thing that I see coming. Think about your those changing trifold things, you stand behind them and you change, you throw your clothes over it and that. What do you call it? That paper, that light skinned paper that's usually on those. I can't think of what it is. Anyway, think your walls. How your walls would have maybe like a skin, like a projector film almost. You pull down the projector screen. Maybe your wall is like that, or similar to that. And maybe something's projected on it. Maybe it's completely digital, to where the wall is like this big, giant television screen, or tablet even. And you can project anything you want on that, or change it to anything you want. So you can be actually sitting at the beach in Hawaii and have the immersive experience and feel like you're actually there, even though you're in an apartment in some big city. I see that is the direction that we could go. Now, that's a double-edged sword, because that could be good, because it allows you to actually participate. My buddy Mitch was actually talking about, carpentry, how to teach people carpentry skills. And how would you do that? Well, in this virtual world that's coming, this metaverse, if we're immersed in it, and you can do it from your own home. Maybe you got a holograph of him and he's walking you through how to do these things, like right there. And you can talk to him even though he's not there. And, you pay for that, or you can teach a class, and have multiple people there. And it's like he's there too. And maybe there's multiple classes going on at the same time where he can go boom, 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 pop in and out. There's a lot of different ways. Think of auditoriums at college, to where everybody's sitting in the auditorium, listening to the professor, looking down, and they can't even see him, he's so far away, and, he's got a speaker because, you can't hear him. So why do you need to be there at that point? All the infrastructure, all the seats, cleaning, heating, cooling, all that stuff. The toilets, they got to be restocked and cleaned. You think of all the stuff, the infrastructure that's in place to make that happen, so that you can bring physical bodies together to listen to the expertise of one person, and you're paying a lot of money to do it. What if you don't need to do that anymore? And this is what's happened during the pandemic. What's happened is, a lot of the schools have shut down and gone virtual, but they've done it in the old-fashioned way, to where, you've got a video and it's not as interactive. It's getting more interactive, but it's not the same. What if you're actually sitting in your chair at home, and then, you're wearing goggles, or you've got a screen, around your house that projects, you got holograms, whatever, and it feels like you're actually in that theater. And you raise your hand, they could actually see you. Or you chime in, whatever. It's almost like it's completely interactive, but you're not all there. But you can see each other there. See the person sitting next to you. And right now it's wearing the goggles. That's how you get into that. Maybe at some point it's something else. You put a pair of glasses on, or you get that Neuralink implant into your head like Elon Musk is talking about. I think that's when we go full singularity, and it's a bad road. But it's a choice. It's a choice we all make. That's where we're at. We've got all these things, all these virtual things that are trying to bring us all together, and that's the good of it. There's great things about the technology that's out there. There's so many things can be learned. Say you want to learn how to shoot a bow and arrow, and so you have a teacher, expert teacher. The hologram comes in, is standing right next to you, and showing you no, and then he's like, oh no, move it here, move it here, move it here, pull it back to your ear, and you're learning that hands-on without actually having that person being there. Just another example, or learning how to cut a piece of wood correctly. Somebody walks you through it, standing there. Nope, do this, lift this, do that. Nope, okay, hold it. That stuff can happen with the technology and the way it's going. Now, we make a choice. Do we use it for education, for good, for the uplifting of humanity, or do we allow ourselves to go full Matrix and be completely plugged into this thing to where we don't know what real things are out here as opposed to what seems real in here? And don't think that it's going to be a fantasy world to where, oh, everything's going to be great. Until we fix our problems as human beings, we're going to take them into any metaverse, any universe, every planet, wherever we go, we're going to take those problems with us. They'll just be manifested in a different way. So don't think the metaverse is going to save you and allow you to just this ultimate escapism. Unless you have your own and it's very controlled. But, when you open it up to other people and you're interacting with other people, it's no different than interacting with other people in the real world. So don't think that it's the savior. I'm just throwing a lot of these things out there, rambling a little bit about it. But one of the big things is in the metaverse, how are you going to pay for things? Because you're still buying things, virtual things, and maybe even things that are real that get delivered. If you go into Walmart and say, I want this, 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 and this, how do you pay for those things? Are you going to have a credit card that's linked up, that goes back and, takes, like it does now? Or is it more efficient to pay in real time where everything's settled and use the blockchain and use cryptocurrencies? I think absolutely that's where it's going to go. And in the metaverse, just like games that you play, like Minecraft and World of Warcraft, there's guild, there's things in that universe that are worth something. There's metals in that universe. There's objects in that universe that have value. I think that the money in that universe, in that virtual world, is going to be, one, useful, because you can buy things in that virtual world that may be real things that show up to your house, or maybe just objects or artwork or things that you put on your wall in the metaverse that are virtual, but they need to be paid for. What's the best way to pay for it? What assets are going to be the most sound? And I think that's where cryptocurrencies come in, and cryptocurrencies that are sound are going to be worth a lot of, they're going to have a lot of value. What's Litecoin, what's Bitcoin going to be worth in the metaverse? Everybody's going to want to get that, and they're going to want to hoard that, and it's going to be able to buy a lot of different things. And there's going to be other cryptocurrencies, but you're going to need more of them. So it's an interesting concept where we're going. We're in the real world, but we're becoming very virtualized. And I think a lot of our activity going forward is going to be pushed in that direction. Will we have virtual wars in the metaverse? No troops going to Ukraine. No, we're going to do it in the metaverse. You still need real assets. You still need real stuff. But it just raises an interesting question. Where are we going? And how far will this metaverse be pushed? So, those are some thoughts. Really don't have a lot more to talk about. I just thank you all for listening again. And if you have any questions, any comments, drop them below. A little bit of a different video today. But yeah, it's stuff to think about. I don't want us to lose our humanity and who we are and the things, the beauty of this world that's out here that touches us in a very tangible and spiritual way when we're experiencing it. And I don't know what that looks like if it's all up here. outside of any, natural movement and sensory, perceptions that we already have built in. What do we lose going into this different world? Just something to think about and keep in mind. Yep. All right. I hope you have a happy Tuesday. It's cold here. It's going to be cold tomorrow. I'm going to be traveling tomorrow and visiting some good friends that are getting married, the coin vigilantes. They built the Litecoin and Bitcoin watches, and they're good people, and I'm excited to meet them, meet their families, I should say. I met them. So that's going to be fun. Go check out coinvigilante.com, and you can pay with crypto for a Bitcoin or a Litecoin watch. Pretty cool. All right. Hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. Love you all. Trust yourselves always, and always question what's going on and know what you're all about. Never know what's coming at you. Just get prepared as much as you can. Big changes, I think, are going to happen in our lifetimes. We already have seen that, but I think in the very near future, we're going to see some things we have to deal with. So use your instincts, trust yourself, and hope you have a wonderful day. Hit that thumbs up if you would. Give me a like, subscribe. All right, love you all.